Hi, my name is Michael Santos, and I'm the founder of Prison Professors. I want you to know that we believe in you. You may be a justice-impacted person right now that's going through a really difficult time. Either you're going into the system or possibly you're already in the system and you're trying to figure out, how am I going to recalibrate? How am I going to make sense out of my life? Well, that's something that I learned from great leaders, and it's something that I strive to pass along to as many people as possible. It's the reason that we hold these daily discussions that we pipe in to people in jails and prisons across America. We want people to know that regardless of what bad decisions or what decisions or circumstances led you into this predicament that you're in right now, you can start sowing seeds that will lead you to a better life. And I'm not somebody that's coming to you that is speaking in the form of somebody who doesn't really know what they were talking about. For those of you who have worked through our programs, our Prison Professors programs, you know that I went into prison in August of 1987, and I was incarcerated until August of 2013. A total of 9,500 days of standing up for count, getting government health care and government subsidies and food and all that kind of stuff while I was living inside of federal prisons of various security levels. But the one lesson I really learned that I want to pass along is every individual has to develop the strength and the mindset to make it through. And in order to do that, that person needs a whole series of resources, including their own tools, which is what we're talking about in today's daily discussion. Today's daily discussion is about, as it says right here, develop tools. You've got to develop your tools that are going to help you achieve your best possible outcome. And as we say in the blurb, to build anything meaningful, we need tools. Sometimes those tools exist already. Sometimes we need to create new tools. Pursuing a self-directed path to success requires us to think creatively about how to develop tools. Those tools should make us more efficient and lead us closer to success as we have defined success. Now, when I was in prison, I used to teach these kind of courses, helping people understand what does it mean to develop a tool. Typically, if somebody's a carpenter, for example, you'll think of a tool. You might think of a hammer, right? And you can use that hammer in many different ways. You can use it to pound nails. You could turn around and use that claw-based thing to kind of chop off a board, maybe, and get it to the right dimensions. You could use it to poke holes into boards so that you, instead of a drill, right? But the more tools you have, the stronger you become, the more powerful you become to overcome the challenges of, well, for a carpenter, might be to build a house. But if you're inside of a jail or a prison, or you're going through the system, you really need to develop your tools that will help you get the outcome that you want for the stage that you're in. For somebody who's just going into the system, the tools and tactics and resources that person may need are going to differ in fundamental ways from the tools that somebody needs who is inside of a prison. That person may need a different set of tools that will help that person transition into the community sooner and build opportunities for a prosperous, meaningful life once that person gets out. So since that's what we do here, is create these digital courses for self-directed learning that people in jails and prisons can use, I'm going to go back to my other screen, and I'm going to read from today's lesson. What would people expect from a person serving a 45-year term? In thinking about that question and how to respond to that question, I anticipated that people would immediately form an opinion about anyone serving a lengthy term. The sentence a judge imposed would influence perceptions other people had about me. That's something I had to consider. But to transcend those perceptions, I needed to develop tools. We all must develop tools to become more efficient, especially when striving to triumph over problems. A book report became one of the first tools that I developed. Some people may not consider a book report as a tool. If we were to ask 10 different people to name tools, I suspect few people would mention a book report. Instead, they'd cite examples like a hammer, a drill, or a wrench. Those tools would help a person become more efficient with a specific task. But a book report could be equally as effective. Book reports could become valuable tools and persuade others that you are people that merit special consideration. Anticipating that I would read hundreds of books during the time that I served, I wanted to be systematic about recording what I learned. Accordingly, I created a template that would memorialize the reading experience. At the start of each year, I set a goal to define how many books I would read. Hypothetically, I might strive to read 50 books during the year as a goal. After reading each book, I would complete the template as follows. On a specific date, I finished reading a specific type of book. Number 2, I would insert the title of the book and write, was the number book I read during the year, and I have so many more books to read to complete my goal. To make that specific, I'm trying to give the title, I'm trying to give the date, I'm trying to be specific, I'm trying to record the effort in this book report. I would insert the author's name and write the title of the book that the author inspired me to read. And then I would answer 3 questions. Not difficult, just 3 questions. I chose to read the title of the book for the following reason. And then I would write as much as necessary to respond to that question. And then I would write the title of the book made an impression upon me for the following reasons. And then I would write as much as necessary. And then I would write, reading, insert the title of the book, will contribute to my success upon release for the following reasons. And I would write as much as necessary. Now, as the months passed, those book reports became a tool for me. And I could use them to show people how I use time in prison in ways to grow and become productive. The book reports would become an invaluable resource. So here are the questions for you. What tools have you developed to get a better outcome at any time in your life? What tools are you working on to create right now? Number 3, what tools do you anticipate in the next year? I meant to write, what tools do you anticipate creating in the next year? Number 4, in what ways will the tools you are creating contribute to your success? Number 5, what tactics have you designed to help you overcome your challenges? And number 6, what influence does language have on your ability to open opportunities? And so what's the word of the day? It is transcend. Define transcend. And then use transcend in a sentence. So what are we doing here with this concept of developing tools? I'm showing you this is just one tactic, okay, that anybody in jail or prison can do regardless of what administrators are doing, regardless of what anybody else is doing. Every individual in prison has access to read books or to read something. While I was incarcerated, I read the Bible every day. I read books that would help me understand business or understand how to become a better communicator or understand how to think differently or understand how did other successful people navigate their pathway to success. And by reading from those people, I became stronger, just as I know you can become stronger. But the key is to always be thinking, what's available? What resources are available to me right now? The more time you spend meditating on that question or thinking about what I can do, what tools can I create, the stronger you are going to become. You're going to boost your confidence. You're going to feel as if your life is not some marionette, a puppet that's being pulled by strings, but rather you are the architect of what you're striving to become. The more a person does that, the more a person moves closer to restoring confidence. And that's so important while you're living inside of a jail or prison. I know from having lived in there for 26 years. But I feel very passionately about bringing this message into jails and prisons because people don't always read so deliberately. As I said in the beginning of today's lesson, they're going to focus on reading books that just help them get through the day. But the real master is going to focus on reading books that are going to help him write the next chapter of his life. That's what we strive to do at Prison Professors, is to show you, regardless of what challenges you're going through today, you can start sowing seeds that will lead to a better outcome. And that doesn't matter if you're in pretrial and getting ready for sentencing, or if you're in prison and trying to get ready for a higher level of liberty when you come home. The responsibility is yours to build something that will help you get your goals. And if you read the different if you work through all of the courses in Prison Professors, you are going to see how I did that, and that's why I believe that you can do it too. So if you're inside of a jail or prison and watching these programs, please work through the coursework, invest in yourself. If you're watching this on YouTube or on iTunes, please subscribe to our programs and visit us at prisonprofessors.com so you can see the different ways that we are working to be the change that we want to see in the world. My name is Michael Santos. On behalf of our entire team of Prison Professors, I want to say we believe in you.